All right, we are 5-0 in our last $5.99 daily best plays on BrockPage.com following Tuesday's sports wagering action. And the link for that package is in the description section below. It's only going to cost you just $1.99. $1,000 bettors are up over $4,500 during that span. Now, we currently have over 800 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And as always, all the picks that I give out on BrockPage.com, they're my personal bets, games that I personally have action on. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some NHL action. We're going to start with the Hurricanes taking on the Bruins. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop on Thursday, February 10th, 2022. Now, Carolina is minus $1.15 on the road with a total at 6. Freddie Anderson for the Canes, Linus Ullmark for Boston. And although Ullmark's having a great season, the Bruins have been giving up most of their goals this year at home. They also lost 4 out of their last 6 contests at any location, and they allowed 22 total goals during that stretch. So we are seeing a bit of a problem with Boston giving up some goals here. Now they're taking on a Carolina team who won 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And they actually rank in the top 5 in scoring on average per game. So Boston's definitely going to have to tighten things up here because Carolina certainly can score. And I'll tell you who can score a lot of goals. That's Sebastian Aho, who's got 19 goals already along with 46 total points. Now the center's also a plus 15 when he's on the ice. I believe there's a small child between my legs right now. Is he climbing between my legs? Andrei Svechnikov, he's got 17 goals and 22 assists himself. When it comes to defensive play in this one, the Canes are leading the NHL in fewest goals allowed per contest. Now, Freddie Anderson's 24-6 through 30 starts this year with a .207 goals against average and a .927 save percentage. Now, injury-wise, Gardner's still out. Teravainen is questionable. Meanwhile, for Boston, Foligno, Rask, and Frederick, they're all still out for them. Bergeron and Marchand, they are questionable. And when it comes to the total in this one, Boston went 70% to the over in their last 10 outings. Meanwhile, Carolina saw 6 out of their last 9 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Carolina minus $1.15 in the over 6 goals. Next contest, it is going to be Blue Jackets versus the Sabres, 7 p.m. Eastern puck drop. Both teams are minus $1.10 with the total at 5.5. Craig Anderson for the Sabres, Eunice Korpisalo for Columbus. And although Eunice is having kind of a down year, the Blue Jackets did get the W in 3 out of their last 4, and they scored 20 total goals during that span. And speaking of scoring, Boone Jenner has 19 goals on the year along with 32 total points. Meanwhile, Gus Nyquist has a dozen goals himself along with 15 assists. Now, Columbus finds themselves in the top 10 in the league in third period scoring on the road. They're taking on a Buffalo team who won just 7 out of 22 home games this year. The Sabres allow 35 shots on goal a game, and they're also in the bottom 5 in goals allowed per contest. So we're seeing some problems here defensively for the Sabres. Now, injury-wise, Middlestat and Quinn are still out indefinitely. Meanwhile, for Columbus, Gerby, Robinson, and Texier, they are still out for them. When it comes to the total in this one, Columbus is 14-7 to the over on the road this year, 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Buffalo. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Sabres saw overs recently with Vegas, Philadelphia, and Dallas. I'm going to lean toward Columbus minus $1.10 and the over 5.5. The next matchup, it is going to be Pens versus the Sens. 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Pittsburgh's minus $2, total 6.5. Tristan Jarry for the Penguins, Anton Forsberg for Ottawa. Now, Forsberg's winning in just 50% of his starts this year, and he also has a .302 goals against average. Now, the Senators allow 34 shots on goal a game, and they also lost 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Pittsburgh. And speaking of the Pens, they're 15-5 with 3 overtime losses on the road this year. And when it comes to offensive production, The Penguins are actually in the top 5 in road scoring. Jake Gensel has 23 goals on the season along with 48 total points. Meanwhile, Chris Letang, he has 36 assists and he's now a plus 16. Now defensively on the other end of the ice, the Pens have also been really good keeping the puck out of the net. They're actually in the top 3 in the NHL in fewest goals allowed per game. Tristan Jarry's 24-8 on the season with a .221 goals against average and a .925 save percentage. When it comes to the total in this one, Pittsburgh's seen unders recently with Detroit, Seattle, and Winnipeg. Meanwhile, Ottawa went 8-1 to the under in their last 9. I'm going to lean toward Pittsburgh minus 1.5 and the under 6.5 goals. Next contest, it is going to... Is he out there?
Yeah, he just walks out.
He just goes. He just goes. It's not Aiden, by the way. If you're for those who've been watching me for a long time, Aiden's like 5 years old now. He's like a little man. He's going to school. Aiden grew up. Aiden's not a little baby anymore. We are now watching a new baby, and his name is Julian. And he walks around like he's drunk. He walks around like Uncle Brock after a couple Crown Royals. Yeah, it is right. All right, next game. He's literally like right underneath me. Next game, Capitals, Canadiens, 7 o'clock East. Washington is minus $2, total 6. Ilya Samsonov for the Caps, Sammy Montembeault for Montreal. Now, Sammy's just 2-8 in his last 10 starts, and he has a goals against average of .410. Now, he's also got himself a save percentage of just .891. The Habs are currently allowing more goals per contest than any other team in the NHL. Now, they're taking on a Caps club who's cashing in on the puck line in over 68% of their road games. Yevgeny Kuznetsov has 15 goals and 46 total points on the season. Meanwhile, defenseman Dmitry Orlov is a plus 15 when he's on a shift. And speaking of defense, the Caps are currently in the top 3 in shots on goal allowed per game. Hey, what are you doing? Anyway, the Caps are currently in the top 3 in shots on goal allowed per game. Ilya Samsonov's 14-6 through 20 starts, .289 goals against average. When it comes to the injury report, Kempny is out. Ovechkin is also out with COVID. Meanwhile, for Montreal, Weber, Edmondson, and Dvorak are still out indefinitely for them. When it comes to the total in this one, Montreal saw unders recently with Colorado and Chicago. Meanwhile, 4 out of Washington's last 7 fell under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Washington minus 1.5 and the under 6 goals. Next contest, it is going to be Devils Blues, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. St. Louis is minus 265, total 6. Vil Yuso for St. Louis, John Gillies for New Jersey. Now, Gillies got the W in just 2 out of 8 starts this year. .316 goals against average for the netminder. Please keep your foot off my foot. The Devils are currently winning just 26% of their road games, and they're in the bottom 3 in goals allowed per contest.
Come here.
They're taking on a Blues. Now he's hugging my foot? What the? Dude, what are you doing?
Come here.
Yeah? Yeah? Dude, you got a really good booger. It's a dry one.
Come here. Come here. Uncle Brock is working. He can't hold
You gotta get out of here. Bad
Come
boy.
here. Come here. Uncle Brock is working.
Really? Aiden never acted like this when he was a baby. Anyway, I don't even know what game I'm covering right now. I should have probably just waited till he went to sleep, but you know what? Let's just get the content out. Yeah, I know. I'll be with you in like 2 minutes. All right. Anyway, they're taking on a Blues club who won 7 out of their last 10. They're in the top 3 in the league in home scoring. Jordan Kyrou has 17 goals on the season and 42 total points. Meanwhile, Pavel Buchnevich has 21 assists, and he's actually a plus 14 when he's on the ice. Now, when it comes to the puck line in this one, St. Louis is actually covering in 63% of their home games. When it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of St. Louis's last 7 got over the posted number. Meanwhile, 3 out of Jersey's last 4 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean towards St. Louis minus 1.5 and the over 6 goals. All right, next contest. It is going to be Lightning versus the Avalanche, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Colorado's minus 120, total 6 goals. Darcy Kemper for the Avs, Andrei Vasilevsky for Tampa Bay. Now, the Lightning lost 3 out of their last 6 road games against the Western Conference. And as good as they've been defensively, these guys are actually in the bottom 10 in the NHL in third period goals allowed. Now, they're taking on a Colorado team who's 20-2 with a couple of overtime losses at home. And they're actually in the top 3 in the league in home scoring. Mikko Rantanen's got 24 goals on the season and 30 total points. Meanwhile, Nazem Kadri has 60 total points and 41 assists. He's in the top 3 in the league in both of those categories I just mentioned. When it comes to the total in this one, Colorado's 17-7 to the over at the Ball Arena. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay's gone 16-6 to the over when they travel. I'm going to lean toward Colorado minus $1.20 in the over 6 goals. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Leafs versus the Flames. 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Toronto's minus 120, total 6.5. Jack Campbell for the Flames. Daniel Vladar for Calgary. Now, Vladar's 6-3 in his last 9 starts. 264 goals against average, 911 save percentage. The Flames allow fewer goals per contest at home than any other team in the league. They're also limiting their competition to just 24 shots on goal a game at the Saddle Dome. Now, they're taking on a Toronto team who allows 33 shots on goal a game on the road. They're also averaging just 2.7 goals a game in their last 10 meetings with the Flames. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Now, injury-wise, Musin is out. Matthews is questionable. When it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of these teams' last 9 meetings together fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, Calgary's 60% to the under on their home ice. I'm going to lean toward the Calgary Flames plus $1 and the under 6.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 5-0 in our last 5 $1.99 daily best plays. I like Carolina, minus $1.15 over 6 goals. Columbus, minus $1.10 over 5.5. Pittsburgh, minus 1.5 under 6.5. Washington, minus 1.5 under 6 goals. St. Louis, minus 1.5 over 6. Colorado, minus $1.20 over 6 goals. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final free pick for the video. I'm going to lean toward Calgary plus $1 and the under 6.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And if you guys want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member package. I promise you guys, I'm a much better handicapper than I am an uncle and babysitter. That I can guarantee. But anyway, guys, most importantly, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that, guys, happy Wednesday or Thursday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.